All right, I got a few grapes. I bet if the fork was a little wider, it would hold on a little bit better. These look pretty good. So now that I found 2 sleeping bags from homeless camps, hot day like this, upper 80s, I have no problem putting sleeping bags on my car. So I'm interested in the upgrade to this bigger stick. So I'm walking through the forest a little bit here to see. I'm looking for the same thickness, the same size, or no, the thicker thickness, the same size. This is a pretty good stick, so I'm not just gonna take a lesser value, a thinner one, or even the same thickness, because this is pretty good, but I could just go for a little bit thicker. That's very interesting to me to have a little bit thicker one, because part of my problem is this: the end is broken off too much. It kind of, when I pull against it, and it pushes against my clothes. I don't like that. I feel like it might cause damage, so I'd like a thicker end than this. And I'll keep my eyes open for a possible replacement. Yeah, these maples, they can get too tall, and then the top will just come crashing down from possibly a storm. It's all evergreens in here. I really don't see anything on this maple I can use. This is a pine, and it spreads out wide. I don't want no narrow spread. Well, it came down the trail from my car just a little ways. It looked like a bit of a marsh here, because it just didn't look like forested. Looked like there was maybe a fishing pond, but it's just a field. Squared off like it was an old farm field. There was a gate I passed, an old gate that's broken down. So I think this used to be a farm field. I don't know why there'd be a squared off field for no reason. This birch just fell over for no good reason. It's just leaned over. This little extra handle on my walking stick is like having an opposable thumb. Right. I'm starting to use this table a lot less for my back. I don't use it for anything really. I think I'm gonna get rid of this table thing, because I've been doing a lot more neck exercises, which have been strengthening my upper back, and I feel less of a need to lay on a hard surface now for my upper back, because I'm strengthening my whole upper back. I'm not just only working the neck, I'm also pushing back. So there's just that whole region is getting strengthened, and that's leading to less need to lay on something hard. So I think I want to get rid of this just to save some room. All right, it's been very nice and peaceful here. I spent the day. I'm gonna spend the night, and nobody showed up. So if nobody shows up during the day, certainly nobody's gonna show up at night. It's been pretty nice and relaxed. It's been a hot day. Had my car covered. It's nice to be able to just keep it covered without prying eyes and all that. So got through hopefully the last hot day of the year. It might be hot tomorrow though. So I got this weird rash on my arm walking in the woods. Very itchy. Just itching it for the past couple of hours. Then I put on some vinegar, and it's no longer itching. It hurts, burns for a couple of minutes, and yeah, the itching is gone. It's been, what, 15 minutes? I'm developing some strange thoughts as I delve deeper into my experience with forked sticks. As I'm holding this, I'm taking it for a walk, and it kind of feels like I'm holding someone else's hand. This is so useful in so many ways. There's primarily... Oh my God, that was deep. And I should be quiet because there's people I don't want to hear me. But I'm just saying that with my sticks and this, I really like how it feels in my hand. Like, this is the wrist, this is the thumb, index, or the whole hand. You just hold it a certain way, it feels like I'm holding a hand. It's just so strange, and I want another one because actually this is nice for my elbow. I've been finding a lot of uses for just this, but the strangest way to look at it is that it feels like a hand. It's comforting to hold, and not only it feels like a hand, but it's also like a hand extension too. If I want to push something out of the way, just kind of, I can push things and twist. So I might have an ant colony in my car again in events. I left these grapes out overnight, and then this morning there's just a ton of ants that I killed or flicked off the edge of the car, but there's no way I picked these grapes loaded with a ton of ants. I never noticed them yesterday. So I drew them out from my car a little bit as a bit of a trap. But there's definitely a colony. They didn't form a line going back and forth. They just kind of marauded it. So I don't think they have a very advanced or large colony in my car. Okay, I made the mistake of inviting these ants. I don't think there was a colony. I had this wood thing leaning against my car, and they've been climbing up and down it. That's how they were getting on top. Because I only get walking sticks with thumbs on them now, it feels like I have a bit of a sword. Did I even show that? So I have a thumb on the end for the walking stick, but every so often, I mean, I swing it like that's a sword, and it feels like my hand is protected when I want to come slamming down on something. Yeah, there's a little protection there, and you see old swords with that protection. Well, this is a natural protection that the stick already provides. A ton of these bugs gotten under my sleeping bags when the bag was draped over the door. They were getting under. They really like being under sleeping bags. Oh, I don't think oh man, they pooped. When I scare them away, they poop on my sleeping bag. I'm becoming a little amazed how reliant I am on scrap wood for exercise and just various movements, various comforts. Just playing around with scrap wood, nothing fancy. Reedsburg, Wisconsin, Reedsburg, Wisconsin. All right, so when I cross the thumbs, I want to make sure that they're facing opposites like this. I want the thumbs facing opposite ways, not facing the same way. I just realized that this is a spring. This is a spring that they got flowing. They don't say what exactly is going on. They don't say that it's a spring here, but I think this is a natural spring. Why would also they have this weird pool that's got growth on it? This weird small pond that seems to be draining water out. I mean, I drove by it. A lot of other people drove by it. It actually took me watching people to stopping at it and like filling up their jugs or something, or cleaning out their jugs. No way they're filling up their jugs out of this. But this is a natural spring. I didn't really realize that the pipe is coming out of the spring. Water's coming out, draining back into the it's all draining back into the spring, not so much draining into the river. But there's no sign saying what it is. I think it's a pipe for a spring. That's something else. So this is all fresh water. Should be very clear. It looks clear. I wonder if there's any fish in there. Huh. Really neat. It is one of the weirdest puddles of water I've seen. There's no overgrowth around it. They're mowing around it. Frogs jump in and out. There's a dog park next to it. Without knowing the background, it's very interesting. Why they leave it as just a pond. It looks like it could easily be transitioned into a natural spring pool for people to swim. I mean, people make fish hatcheries out of these natural springs. A little bit of a gas discharge. So if it is truly a natural spring, they can do more with it. And it's interesting. Maybe they have done things with it and then let it go back to a more natural state. I don't know the history of this. They don't talk about it. And coming into the park, they don't even want to tell you it's a park right away. They want to say the road is closed or it's a dead end. The first sign you see coming in here, it says dead end. And then it says what park it is. All right, down from the spring, away from my car. This also could be a spring, part of a spring too. Have to study geology to understand how it all works, how you could tell by sight what is what and which is which. But yeah, nearby the spring is like a waste disposal sewage treatment plant. So I've never seen a sewage treatment plant set up nearby a spring like this, next to in between the dog park and the sewage treatment plant, a natural spring. Somebody made a little hut out of a fallen tree, a turned up tree. I've seen this a couple of places. People like to make little shelters, because I guess complete with a broom and toilet paper, people make use of the dirt wall. But I mean, they kind of cheated here with the rope. This big down tree fell, and actually it's kind of a recent falling. It's still got green leaves, so it's doing pretty good still, even after it's fallen. People have done this in other places too. This is more of an eastern thing though. I've never seen it in the west half of the country. Yeah, there's people who have really spent a lot of time out here. There's signs of an old camp chair they left behind. They didn't leave, they cleaned it up really good. So this is actually kind of a sketchy place. I might be looking a little sketchy hanging out because of past activity. Looks like there's a clearing also for another, yeah, there's a trail clearly leading to another homeless spot. Okay, maybe not. Somebody has a deer stand up here. This isn't city property? And they locked it. I don't know if they'd lock it on private property. I got a little, oh, it's bending a little. I'm a little heavier, so it scares me about the weight limits of these things. So here's another one of these imposter grapevines. Right next to the grape. See, it's got more of a, grape's got more of a jagged leaf. I never thought I could make a comparison of something that's so similar. And what's inside this is some kind of green ooze. Ugh! And slimy too, look at that. It doesn't stink. I don't know what to think of it. But I don't know how much of a trained eye you need to tell the difference between a grape cluster and whatever this is. I can easily tell. These sea cords are turning out to be a dime a dozen now. I just found it in the grass. This white snake thing. Don't know if it works, but more people are losing them these days around the country. Makes me wonder a little bit, what was the most common thing people were losing in the 1980s? Like cassette tapes or batteries. See, I like the bend of this tree and the thickness of the branches, and that's only because somebody cut that top corner. So that caused growth to happen at the bend. Like this too, they cut the end. I like that angle, that 90-degree angle. You want the sticks to be the perfect formation for you. Sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands and do the right pruning. But you got to also have time too for that. I'm just traveling across the country looking at all the different sticks and trying to find something in the wild woods, when maybe the most ideal thing to do is to actually do the right pruning and then come back in 10 years. Yeah, what's the schedule look like for the study rooms?
Do you need a study room? Do you need a study room now?
No, you just you asked the question with the question. I was asking what the schedule looks like for the study rooms.
Right, so I can look to see. I
Okay.
can't tell you what people are using, but I
No,
can see
you,
if there's
you
room
s-
for you.
are people okay? Are people able to reserve the study rooms?
Yeah, you can reserve the study
Okay.
room.
Has anybody reserved a study room for today?
I can't tell you that. I can tell you if there's space for you to use the study room. Would
Well,
you
yeah,
like
no,
that?
there's two spaces, right? There's two separate study rooms.
Yes, there are. Yep, and I
Okay.
can see if
And
there.
you don't know, like you have a way of scheduling, but you don't know who's scheduled?
No, I can't tell you who's scheduled.
I don't want to know who's scheduled.
Right,
I want to
so
know if they're scheduled. I don't need to know who the person
right,
is.
so that's why I'm asking how long do you need the study room for so I can
Well,
get
I don't
people
know.
in there.
How busy is it?
How long do you need the study rooms
Yeah,
for?
okay.
Let's do that.
From say the next 3 hours,
Okay.
is there anybody scheduled in the study
Yep,
rooms?
I'll see what's available for the next
Uh,
3 hours then.
Okay, and then you don't know for the day, but you can tell for for 3 hours.
Yeah, so what I can do is if you tell me how long you need it, I can tell you which rooms are available
Okay, you got a
during
weird.
that time.
Yeah, that's a different program
So
that
we
you got.
have study room one, which has a large table and 4 chairs, or we have the small study room with a countertop and 2 chairs. Which one would
Okay.
you prefer?
Well, I don't know. Are they're open?
They're both open, yeah.
Okay. Are they open for the and you only know for the next 3 hours.
Do you need it longer? I can see if either one is available
Oh,
for
and you
longer.
are able to check. Okay.
Yes.
You can't check for the day, but you could check. What's your limit on time that you could check for
So
when
you
they're
can have it
open?
for the day if you need it.
Oh,
So if you tell me
okay.
how long you need it, I can tell you which rooms are available.
All right. It's sounding to me like you don't have anything scheduled today for either of the rooms.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Well,
I need to know how long you need it so I can tell you which rooms are available. How long
okay.
would you like to use the room today?
Well, it sounds like they're not busy. I mean, you're making it sound like that.
I'm not making it. I'm asking you how long do you need the room?
So yeah, I was thinking like right now, maybe an hour and a half.
An hour and a half? Okay. Would you like the countertop or would you like the tabletop so you can spread out?
Spread. Okay. One sits how many, and the other sits how many?
One sits 4, the other one sits 2, but that's a little
Okay. All right.
squishy.
2 is fine.
2 is fine? Okay, we'll do that. Let's see. Would you like it until noon for the 3 hours?
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
That would be fine? Okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise
I don't
can
have to
see-
stay until noon.
Okay, and then just let us know if you're.
Oh, is there a key?
Sooner. Yep. What's your first name?
That's Travis.
And your last name?
Oh, what all information do you need?
I'm gonna need your first and last name and a phone number.
Oh, I don't have a phone number. I don't.
Do you have an email?
I don't pay. Yeah, I do.
All right, so what's your email?
What do you want to email me for?
So if for some reason there was, something you left in the room, or if we needed to contact you for some reason, we only use it
Okay.
for this booking. So I either need a phone number
Yeah.
or an email.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's not a damage thing. It's just if I lose something, right?
Or, if something were to go missing or whatever, but yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather just go with my first name, but if that's not good enough, then
Right,
that's
I need
fine.
some type of
Okay.
contact, whether it's
Well
email or
then,
phone.
whatever. I don't need to use it.
Okay,
All
you're
right.
welcome to use one of the tables then.
Yeah. Yep. So if I wanted to squeeze in between these posts, all I got to do is unscrew the nut and it slides right down. Let's see. There we go. And now we can get through. Well, it's a little short. My car is pretty narrow though. There you go. All right. All right, I just put the third hole in the end here for the 3 sticks. This is the handle. I think I want to just stick with 1 hole on the top, and I think 3 holes max. A 4th hole doesn't seem like it would do much, add much value. This is a stained glass tractor. I didn't think it would really show up all that well on the camera, but it seems okay. Can't really make out that it's a tractor though. This says geothermal wells below ground, no excavating allowed. And this is in the park. And those signs are next to the police station. Geothermal. I was impressed by the spring in South Park. But now I'm seeing geothermal warnings with excavating and stuff next to the police station.